As a province that places emphasis on creating a social return on investment, funding was made available to Reach Edmonton. Reach Edmonton works with and engages agencies, citizens, and the police to address the many aspects of crime prevention. This is their story.
We're the Community Safety Council for Edmonton, which means that we bring many different groups together, whether they're agencies or the police, business, and we are trying to approach the way that we deliver safety in Edmonton in a different way, and we hope that over a generation we would have changed how Edmontonians perceive and live in their city in a more safe manner. Reach is not there to impose the solutions. We often refer to ourselves as a catalyst in the community. Can we connect people? Can we catalyze? Can we make a difference to how perhaps things are seen? So there were a number of recommendations. There were 9 of them that council had approved. So there were incredible insights from the community as to what the community wanted to see, how the community wants to move various initiatives forward, but nothing was really structured behind it. So in many ways, what we've done is provide some structure and some thinking as to how we would move things forward. So, for example, in our Aboriginal and our immigrant and refugee programs, there are various groups that we've worked with over these past couple of years who've seen that there are gaps in Edmonton around certain issues. For example, domestic violence and how to approach domestic violence in immigrant and refugee communities. Or the fact with the Aboriginal community that far too many people from the Aboriginal community are within the criminal justice system. And so there are various approaches that say if we, for example, work with Aboriginal youth, with elders, we do recreation, we do powwows with these youth, they are far less likely to fall into the more negative aspects of the criminal justice system.
Most importantly, it's knowing who they are, that they have a place to be community people, but even in Edmonton, the urban Aboriginal youth, and still not forget their background and their roots, which I involved them through culture, ceremonial procedures like the sweat lodge, singing and with their drums and rattles, through song, having different therapeutic courses like cultural arts.
From the Aboriginal perspective, the Reach Aboriginal Leadership Group has been great to work with. From the city standpoint and the Aboriginal Relations Office standpoint, it's all about building relationships. The community hasn't had a voice for hundreds of years. In the last 50 or 60 years, we've been slowly getting that voice back.
The immigrants and refugees that are coming to Edmonton in these last few years are experiencing things differently than perhaps 20 and 30 years ago. And part of that is that the pre-migration trauma of being a refugee in a camp somewhere, let's say in Africa, makes it incredibly difficult in the transition to a country you might not have chosen. And when you do get here, there are many things you like, and there are many other things that happen where you are marginalized and you feel that it's a struggle to be able to come into Canadian society.
So there's lots of struggles, especially if they are new to the country and they don't understand what's the rules and the regulations here. And our job will be there to help them at least to understand what that means, what family violence means here. And the way we understand it here and the way we understand back home, it's different.
I am learning English, so it's necessary here. But I want to live for a long time when my kids grow up and maybe still here or not. I need to improve my English and after find a good job for them.
We do recognize, though, that safety is also a matter of being included, feeling you are included, feeling you're part of a community. And so many of the projects I think that we're trying to work on, we are hearing at those conversations that people from other parts of the world are saying, I don't feel included. I want to be included. Will you recognize the fact that my culture and established Canadian culture need to come together so that we can work in partnership, make our neighborhood safe? I think these are really important things that REACH can almost tease out and bring to the fore in Edmonton. It's an important piece of the work because we're dealing very often, in fact, in all the work we do, with vulnerable Edmontonians. So whether you're an immigrant, a refugee, whether you're homeless, on the street, so many layers and complexity to this kind of work. And we're not the frontline agency. We're helping others see the world perhaps a little differently and start to try and provide some solutions that will help those who are the most vulnerable in the city. Doesn't matter who the group is in the community. Doesn't matter whether it's Aboriginal, immigrant, refugee, homeless. These are complex issues in a city. And as a result, you really do need to always allow everybody's voices to be heard. And once you do that, I think you get to a next level of finding a solution. I think the important thing when you're working in community safety is to realize there isn't just one solution. You're coming at community safety from so many different directions. The thread that runs through it is the fact that we're dealing with vulnerable people. The thread that runs through it is that the police need to be involved on the suppression side, and then there's intervention and there's prevention. And so those many threads come together.
So there's a variety of roles that we play. One of the main ones being crime management, but the other one being community liaison. So being involved with, connecting with, in this case with REACH, and getting involved with immigrant populations. The challenges are different with each population, with each demographic. And so we have to look at strategies and techniques on all of those. So certainly working with REACH and the police helps us connect with the groups faster and get us involved faster. So that's a big assistance there.
You want to make a change to the city if there are perceptions of non-safety. We are actually a remarkably safe city, but you want to keep it that way. It's one of the quality of life aspects of Edmonton. It's one of the key pieces of the puzzle when you are selling Edmonton to the rest of the world as well, is that you want to recognize the fact that we have many aspects to a city, and one of them is that this is a safe city and that you want to live here. You want to have your children growing up here, the families feeling safe, and youth are engaged in a city like Edmonton. It's an important piece of the puzzle.